Good morning, Nerd Nation, and welcome to the AFTA Effect Podcast Show, where we master the art of acknowledgement, forgiveness, trust, and acceptance, all so that you can become the beholder of your own beauty. In just a few moments, you are going to be on the couch with SJ and Yaz. And I'm your girl SJ, and Yaz is right on the other side of this intro. In the meantime and in between time, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and fill your cup with whatever makes you happy this morning. I want you to get your pen, I want you to get your paper, and I want you to get prepared to be transformed. Let's start this day together, shall we? See you inside. Welcome, Nerd Nation. Hello, and welcome back to the AFTA Effect Podcast Show. I'm SJ, your Self-Love Strategist and the creator of the AFTA Effect. And right now, I am so glad that you guys are here today. I am joined in the studio right now by my girl Toya. Now, we don't know if anybody else is coming in, okay? But we can hold this down, just me and her, with this conversation. In this episode, we're going to be exploring integrating the AFTA Effect into your daily life. Now, over the past episodes, we've really taken a lot of time breaking down acknowledgement, forgiveness, trust, and acceptance. And now we're going to go ahead and move it on to the next level. We're taking it to the next level by learning how to actually weave these things into our everyday routine. So it's 3 points that we're going to go over today. One, we're going to create a personal self-love action plan. 2, incorporating the AFTA Effect principles into your daily routine. And 3, actually embracing the ongoing journey of self-love. So by the end of this episode, we're going to have a clear understanding of how to make self-love a continuous, evolving practice rather than just a one and done. Some people think that they can just, I don't know. I think that some people think that there is a certain point that you get to where you're finished and everything should be all cool. And that is not how it works at all. So before we do that, let's go ahead. I'm going to have my girl introduce herself and give us a little bit of a take on what you feel about integrating AFTA into your daily routine.
So, hello, Nerd Nation. It's your girl Toya again. Welcome. For me, integrating the AFTA Effect into my everyday life is kind of like second nature at this point. Because as somebody who, and I'm gonna put this out there, and I don't talk about a lot of things except us when we're, in our own personal conversations, but I will divulge some information, about myself a little bit more, a little deeper. I am somebody who suffers from anxiety, and I also suffer from major depressive disorder. So every day I'm applying the AFTA Effect because I have to acknowledge that, yes, I have anxiety, and knowing my triggers is, half the battle, because being aware of things and acknowledging, okay, I know that if I don't do certain things right, I'm gonna get hard on myself. And, y'all have seen me when I'm just like, oh my God, and you're like, take a deep breath. So it's like, I have those moments where I hear you in my head saying certain things and I'll be like, you know what? Okay, I could do this. Like, take a deep breath and acknowledge it didn't come out great. Now, what can I do to fix it? So that we don't have this problem again.
Well, please, let's just talk about how happy I am that I am a voice in your head, honey.
Yes, you are a voice in my head. You are a voice in my head.
Well, listen, that brings us right on to point 1, which is talking about creating a personal self-love action plan. So when I say that, let me give a little bit of explanation here. So a personal self-love action plan is like a roadmap that keeps you focused and accountable on your self-love journey. I want you to think of it as like a personal guide, which is a set of goals, habits, and regular check-ins that help ensure that you're prioritizing your own well-being, because most of us don't. Most of us are very busy taking care of everybody else. Just like you, Toya, I'm diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and we all know that there's about 6 personalities up in here that come out at any fucking time. Okay. So having such a plan just makes it so much easier to maintain some consistency, to track your progress, and uh, to just adjust your approach, as needed, to adjust how you do things as you go. So over time, this plan is going to become more of a powerful tool for building a healthier relationship with yourself. And so this is something that I take really, really seriously. What I want you to reflect on from them, 2 things. What might a self-love plan look like for you? And secondly, how would you choose your goals? What daily habits would support those types of goals? So when I say, hey, Toya, let's create a personal self-love action plan, like what does that mean to you? What does that look like to you? Because now, of course, for those that don't know how to do it, I got 3 steps. We're going to get it done. But just what does that look like to you? Have you ever done one before?
I've done one before, and it's funny you mention that because the first thing that comes to mind on my self-love action plan is I hear you in my head saying you better comb your hair before you walk out that door. Which is why I keep going like this because I'm like,
Double through it. Like, just
I
pull a
got in
brush
the
through it.
shower and I didn't really like refresh my ponytail before I came on here. So I'm like, it's fuzzy on making sure that I'm presentable from head to toe and put together and not looking like I just rolled out of bed and nobody loves me and I don't even love myself. So that's number one.
Yes,
Um,
please, and thank you.
also, just making sure that I take time out for me, whether it's doing something as simple as just laying on my couch and watching a TV program, just to decompress and not really think about anything, just something quiet, or sometimes I'll go for a walk. And y'all know, y'all have seen me out there on the track just getting it in because I'm like, not that I'm not unhappy with my weight. It's just that I know to be mindful of certain things, and my weight has always been a trigger for me because, of course, I have dysmorphia. I think I'm like a 350-pound
Do
person,
you?
even though I'm not a 350-pound person. But when I look at myself, I see a 350-pound person. Like I see an extremely fat person, even though I'm not. So another reason I don't always take pictures and I run from the camera. I'll take as many pictures of everybody else as they want. I don't really like taking pictures of myself. But I'm not as bad with that as I used to be. I'm not starving myself. I don't overeat and then binge and make myself throw up. I'm not starving myself. Like I said, I've done a lot of things in my life, you know. So I don't do all those things. I have developed a healthy relationship with food.
I don't think my relationship is healthy at all with food.
My relationship is healthier than it was in previous years with food.
Healthier, I can say.
So I'll say that it's healthier than it's ever been before with food.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's another
So,
thing. So,
so
just
here's what I think. And that's a good way to start, because when I give these 3 actionable steps, you're going to see how what you've been doing already kind of aligns, with that. So let me give you 3 actionable steps, Third Nation. And just in case you don't want to go through doing all of this shit on your own, there's going to be a link in the description. And there's going to be a little worksheet, a little journal sheet where it's already going to be made up. But I'm going to give you the steps to how to start to create your own self-love action plan. So step number 1 is we are going to set some clear goals. Now, anybody that has spent any time listening to me, the only goals I talk about is SMART goals. Okay? Them things need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable, they need to be relevant, and they need to be time bound. Okay? And so I
Well,
want
I
you to
do.
write down, I want you to write down 3 self-love goals to work on over the next 30 days. See, I'm putting that time bound right on there already. It's already measurable because I want you to write 3 of them. Okay. 3 self-love goals that you're going to work on over the next month. Now, these goals, it could be anything from improving your self-talk to carving out just some regular time for rest and relaxation. Do you understand how important sleep is? Most of us don't get enough of it. It is one of the most essential things that we can do for our self-care. And so, three three goals, 3 self-love goals. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to identify daily habits. What that means is that for each of those 3 goals that you wrote down, you're going to list small, manageable actions that you can take every day to help you get to those goals. Because it doesn't matter to write the goal down and not give yourself a roadmap for how to get there. So maybe how you get there is journaling for 5 minutes every morning or practicing, a few minutes of mindful breathing before you go to bed. I want you to give me some small steps that you can take daily for each goal that you write down. And then the last thing is reflecting and adjusting. You're going to revisit your plan weekly. What's working? What's not working? You're going to be open to making changes so that your plan evolves with you. So how does that sound to you? Does that sound like 3 things that you could do?
Most definitely.
Setting goals, identifying the habits to reach the goal, and then reflecting and adjusting, as
As
you go along,
necessary.
as you go along. So that
And I'll give you
brings us.
and I'll give you an example of that for those who need to be, that modification or that accommodation. So that would be, let's say, one of your goals is to make sure that you are presentable every day. So that would look like every night before you go to bed, prepping for, it could be even on the weekend, prepping the outfits that you plan to wear throughout the day. What are you going to wear Monday? What are you going to wear Tuesday? And setting that all up, making sure that if you're going to wear your hair a certain way, that you have all of the tools necessary to style your hair, all of the products that you're going to use to maintain it. So something that simple.
Which is why the goals have to be relevant and realistic. Okay. So, because a simple comb and a brush. Some people, listen, I'm looking outside. Some of you, okay, and I'm just going to put it out there, pull a comb through it. Okay. That's really all you got to do is pull a comb through it. And I say that not with any type of judgment, but again, you're looking at 2 people who just let you know that I would say cursed. I would say we're cursed. We are diagnosed with depression. And one of the things that goes along with a depressive state is that we
You
can
don't care
very
about what your
quickly
appearance
lose
is.
interest in how we look.
Yep.
It's of the things that we will worry about. That's the last motherfucking one on the list, and
Yep.
that is usually how I can tell when I'm going through a depressive bout. I don't know about you, but that's one
Yeah.
of the things that I noticed first. Like when I noticed, okay, when my hair is not cut, when, even when it is cut, it's all jacked up. When I don't want to present, I
Mm-hmm.
have to think about, okay, what's going on with me? What's up? Why don't you? And now it's a conscious thing. And so I don't want anybody out there that's listening to us that think that if they can't do that, that there's something wrong with you. You have to understand how much work that me and this person have individually done on ourselves, even
Yeah.
before we met one another. And so it takes a lot of inner work, which is why I do what I do, because I want to help, I want to guide. And a lot of times when you have, the quote unquote gurus out here, they kind of give you a directive of what to do, but in my opinion, they don't really tell you how to do it. And I'm saying that after going through, I've done coaching, I've been, of course, I've been to therapy. I recommend it for everybody.
Yes.
I've partaken and participated in some really influential people, their seminars and, some really world renowned people. And I feel, I don't know. I feel like there's always something missing. There's always some form of a disconnect when it really comes to how to incorporate things on a daily basis into, and maybe that's just me, because maybe those things worked, for other people. They've had much success. Um, but I don't like when people are vague with me. And I feel like in a lot of other programs that I have personally participated in, it feels like there's something they're holding back from me. And so I just don't like that feeling. So this is one of the reasons why I created the After Effect, because when somebody goes through that, I want you to know you're going to understand every step of the way exactly what to do, because I don't want to hoard any of the information. I want everybody to feel how I feel. And even though I'm diagnosed with anxiety and depression and a whole slew of other things, I'm still an inherently very happy person. And it is because of the inner work that I've been able to do. So, like I said, that leads us on into being able to actually incorporate it. So now that we've made uh, this, or now that we're considering creating our self-love action plan, let's talk about how we integrate the AFTA principles: acknowledgement, forgiveness, trust, and acceptance into everyday life. So small daily actions, when practiced consistently, can create a transformative ripple over time. They say it takes 21 days to form a habit. Okay. And so when we start acknowledging our feelings, forgiving our small mistakes, trusting in your abilities, and accepting yourself just as you are on a day in and day out basis, you're going to build a really resilient foundation for your journey. Because this isn't about grand gestures. It isn't about like one big thing that you can do. And then all of a sudden, you're going to love yourself. It's a million different little things, little adjustments. It's about weaving self-love just into the fabric of what you do on a daily basis. And that's one thing that I have to remind my clients of all the time is that, I feel like people feel like once they do the inner work and all that stuff, it's kind of like when you go back to church. When you go back to church and all of a sudden you don't understand why all of these things are happening to you, why all it seems like demons is just attacking you. Because first of all, no one promised us easy. No one promised that the word easy is no
Yes.
document anywhere.
There
And
is
so
nothing. If it comes easy, it's probably
it's
not
something
meant.
up.
Yeah,
There's something, I don't want to say that that everything has to be hard, but I feel like I've said this before. A problem is only a problem for as long as you don't have a solution. Just because you find a solution to a problem, does that mean that the problem is never going to come up again?
No,
No.
but at
It
least you
just
know
means
how to
that you're
approach
not going it just means that you're not even going to look at it as a problem anymore, because you already have a solution. And so that's what the after effect is all about. And that's what self-love is all about. You're going to love yourself. You're going to know yourself. You're going to be able to acknowledge, forgive, trust, and accept yourself. But that doesn't mean that bad shit is going to stop happening around you. It just means that now you're going to have some tools to handle said bad shit. A problem is only a problem until you have a solution. And so here's something that I want you guys to consider for just a moment. Number one, how can you acknowledge something about yourself each morning, even before your day fully begins? And I mean, like right from waking up, can you do that? Number two, in what ways can you forgive yourself for small errors or imperfections as they arise? How can you practice trusting your instincts and judgments throughout the day. These are things I want you to think about when you get up. And lastly, when you reflect at night, how can you appreciate those moments when you just accepted yourself for who you are? Now, when I tell you, and when you said, it's almost second nature, it is absolutely second nature right now. From the moment my eyes open, I'm acknowledging something about me because I have to. Because I remember how it was to open my eyes and immediately be sucked into other people's problems, or to immediately be sucked into the stress of the day. Like, I don't know if you done it. Like, it's
And
the
it's like,
worst feeling in the world. It's the worst feeling in the world to
the
open your
day
eyes.
hasn't even started, and yet you're already overwhelmed, and all you did was open your eyes.
All you did was open your eyes, which means that you
Like,
probably went to bed
I
with
ain't
all of that
even
shit on
step
your
out of the
brain.
bed yet, and it's just like, oh God,
So
I
I
gotta do
know how
all
it
this stuff
feels.
all over again. Like, it's crazy because when I'm at work, people are like, you're always so calm and so, happy. And it's like, because I don't have a choice in the matter. Like, I have to look at things from a certain perspective, because if I ever begin to look at them from a different perspective, I'm not going to be productive. And I'm all about being productive.
Right.
So it's funny when you say wake up in the morning and to acknowledge things. It takes me back to our previous conversation where you were telling, Nerd Nation to get up and go love on themselves in the mirror every morning. Like, go
Yeah.
in that mirror for them 30 seconds and hype yourself up. Be your
You
own best
have
friend and hype
to.
yourself up, because you
You
have to
have to,
do that.
because the day can take over. The day can take over. Whatever it is that you do, Nerd Nation, for a living, I don't know what the fuck y'all do, okay? I work with people who are on a recovery journey. And that recovery journey is either from some type of substance abuse disorder, or it's from a mental health disorder. And it is part of my job to help them adjust and live, while they're on this journey. Let me tell you something. Being on the team, of several people that is on that type of a journey, it would be very, very easy for my day to get overwhelmed, for me to be overwhelmed if I have to start my day off with me, just with me. So when I get up from the bed, when I wake up and I turn my shit over, I ain't ashamed to let y'all see. I am recording in my bedroom. Look, and this would be the time I'm recording in my little bedroom. Okay. When I get up from that little bed right there, as soon as my eyes open, oh my God, as soon as my eyes open, we're going to love us today. We're going to love us today. We're going to be cool today. We are not going to allow everyone else's problems to overwhelm us today. That's
Yep.
before I get out that bed. By the time I get out of the bed and go to the bathroom, where I have affirmations on my mirror, oh, we in a meeting now. That is my first meeting of the day. My first meeting of the day is with me. My first meeting of the day ain't at the job. My first meeting of the day is not with my clients. My first meeting of every day is with me. It has to be, because I got to give myself the marching orders. Now, is every meeting a pleasant meeting? Nope. Because I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I get up every morning feeling great. I'm going to tell you that I get up every morning with the intention of feeling great.
Mm-hmm.
I get up every morning with the intention of getting whatever it is together that's not together if I'm not feeling great as soon as my eyes open. But my intention is always on my self-care. And so that brings us into those actionable steps, because I got 3 for you. So actionable steps for incorporating after daily. Morning routine. Number 1 is to spend a few minutes each morning in the mirror acknowledging one positive thing about yourself or your abilities. It could be as simple as recognizing your courage in starting a new project, or appreciating your compassionate heart. Girl, bump that. Let me tell you something. When you get in the mirror, the first thing I want you to do is tell yourself how beautiful you are. I'm gonna just
Remind
give you your
yourself you
script.
are the baddest thing walking around.
That's it. Nobody else has to agree with that. Nobody else has to think that, but that's the first thing that you should be saying to yourself when you get up and when you get into that mirror. You have to give yourself a pep talk every day. And don't you worry, if you don't got a pep talk to give yourself, again, there will be a link in the description box with a morning meditation, honey. And all you got to do is press play to listen to it. Okay.
Listen,
Number
there's some mornings I wake up and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, she cute. I ain't even brushed my hair yet, but I'm telling myself I'm
ain't
cute.
did nothing. Ain't did nothing. Don't
I
have to.
shall return. I will be right back.
I like how
Number
she put a little
two.
Scorpio symbol up there.
I know, right? Number two. After you get in and you do that morning reflection, I want you to practice forgiveness daily. Instead of holding on to frustrations when you make a small mistake, like forgetting to respond to an email or a text, I want you to consciously forgive yourself and move on. This simple act will help you release some unnecessary stress and guilt. Listen, when you see the email, just respond to it. Okay. When you see the text, just respond to it. And if you need to, you could start off with, I'm so sorry that I didn't respond earlier. But I'm going to need you to get over that thing. Because see, you looking at two, well, nope, Tiff is here now. So you looking at three women that can probably hold on to the smallest thing if we don't consciously let that shit go. I can't tell you the number of fucks that I no longer have available for small stuff. But those are the things that can bring the house down. It's the small stuff. A lot of times it's not the big stuff that causes devastation. A lot of times it's the small things. Forgive yourself for not answering the email. Forgive yourself for not responding to somebody's text in time. Who in the hell is time and how long it takes somebody to respond to a text anyway? Oh my God. Oh my God, I digress. I'm sorry. I was having a flashback because I can't take it. Number three. It's having a flash. Like, who does that? Number three, end of the day reflections. Before bed, I want you to write a short note about something that you accepted or trusted yourself with that day. Hey, sweetie, maybe you trusted your gut in making a decision, or maybe you accepted a feeling without judgment. I want you to recognize the moments, and I want you to recognize them because they're the evidence of your growth. Okay, I can listen. How you feel about these three things: our morning reflection, our practice and forgiveness, and our end of the day reflection.
What are you asking?
I'm asking whoever dares to answer.
Listen here, y'all. Okay. First of all, I was late. I told you it's going to be. Did y'all see? This is what I had on today. So you saw what was under here. I'm like, wait a minute. I'll be right back. So
I
that
know
was
you
that
did.
reflection.
Hold up. This is
I was like, wait a minute. With that being said, those three things are actually pretty good to do. It'll help keep you focused on what you need to be or what you choose to focus on.
Those were the actionable steps for incorporating the after effect into our daily lives. We've already made us a action plan. And so since Tiff just came in, I'm gonna recap. So before that, we did a self-love, we created a self-love action plan. And so the three steps that we went through to create that plan is setting clear goals. And so we're going to write down three self-love goals that we can work on over the months. The goals can be anything from improving your self-talk, to just carving out some time for rest and relaxation. We talked about sleep and how important our sleep is to us. The second thing was identifying daily habits. So now that we've put those three goals out there, what's the small things that we can do to achieve those goals? Because it doesn't matter if we write the goals down. If we don't have a way to achieve them, that we might as well be making a wish list. And so it's going to be manageable things, even if it's journaling for 5 minutes a day, something like that. And then we're going to reflect and adjust. And so that was the first part that you missed, is actually creating the self-love plan. And so what you came in on was, now that we've created that plan, how do we incorporate it into our daily routine? And so that brings us to the third thing, which is, I really want people to understand and embrace the ongoing journey that self-love is. It's not a one and done. It's not like going to go out. I guess I could say like going to go learn how to drive. Like, you go to driving class. When you walk into driving class, you may not know a damn thing about, driving and the streets and all that stuff. By the time you finish, bam, you can drive, you can go get your license, and you move on with your life. That's not this. Self-love journey is very different. It's ongoing. So self-love isn't a destination. It's a journey. It's no final milestone where you become done with self-love. Instead, it's an evolving, ongoing process that shifts as you grow and learn and change. So embracing this more from a journey mindset will help you be a little bit more patient with yourself. It'll help you with understanding, that you're going to have good days, you're going to have crappy days, you're going to have challenging days, you're going to have days where you don't want to be bothered with nothing, and that's completely normal. By seeing self-love as a continual practice, you learn to appreciate the small victories. Do you know how many of us have an issue with celebrating small victories? With just recognizing that we've accomplished something? Because what do we do? What do we do? Anybody just think, what do we do? We accomplish one thing. What do we do?
Well, if that thing is not big enough, we don't acknowledge it. We just keep on going to the next one.
We'll move on to the next one. That's the answer. We accomplish that one thing. We move on to the next one. And so that can be a really damning and damaging habit when you're on a self-love journey. So we need to be able to, and the reason is we need to be able to celebrate the victories. We need to be able to learn from the setbacks. And we need to be able to always stay open to growth. So while with this perspective, we'll find it easier to forgive ourselves when we stumble, and we'll be able to celebrate ourselves when we soar. So here's something I want you guys to reflect on. Number one, what are your self-love wins so far? And number two, how can you stay motivated to keep practicing self-love over the next months and years to come? A lot of us, we focus on our losses, especially now it's the holiday season. There's a lot of people that get really stuck in what they don't have during the holiday season. So that's why I felt like it was really, really important for us to do this episode right around now, because we just left Thanksgiving, we landsliding into Christmas, and the new year is knocking on all of our back doors. So if you could give two self-love wins that you've accomplished, what would they be?
I'll give you one from right now. Okay, so the last time that I was on here, this is just me. I didn't like the way that I looked. Okay.
Okay.
This is just simple, but this is a win for me. And so I determined that I was going to do something different. Now, I got all together, and then I came on and forgot a portion. However,
so I gotta be back.
Right. However, I had to get that portion. Not that I didn't think I was beautiful like that, but I was not. That's not what I wanted to present. So for me, it was a win for me to show up today. I got my little lip out there. Look out. I did a little eyeshadow. And so that's to me, that's just a portion of self-love. Not that, I'm going to win any Grammys or anything, but for me, it was important that I present myself in the way that I like to be. And so this is what I like to be.
Oh, and we definitely talked about that because we talked about earlier, with us being, I know me being diagnosed with depression and anxiety and Toya being diagnosed, the same thing. A lot of the times, what I had said was the first thing that I notice when I'm kind of in a depressive state, I notice my appearance because we don't care about it. Once you're in a depressive
I
bout, like
got bigger
that's
fish
one of
to
the
fry,
first
and my hair ain't one of them.
yeah, it's not what you so we absolutely talked about appearance as being a win-win. Toya, what about you? If you were to talk about a self-love win that you've had, like, yes, bitch, because don't look, bitch. Okay, look, but don't look, but don't look. Like, that's crazy.
That's the one thing that y'all always talking about. You could just go do something as simple as getting your nails done. So I cut out time in my schedule to get my nails and my feet done.
Look, and I done just peeled all the polish off my toes.
Me too. Stop playing.
So my win is I carved out time to go get my nails and my feet done.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Okay, so here is something that I do consider a win. Y'all know that I'm a hoarder of money. We have talked about this, that it can be toxic. Like, I will not get the things that I need. So I've been seeing these little things on TikTok. The TikTok shop got me in a grip. But have y'all seen the little TikTok janks where the lady will put on some perfume from Scent Bird, whatever, and her man can't keep his hands off of her because she smells so good and all of this stuff. So I done seen a million of these things, and so I'm like, you know what? I like to smell good, so I'm going to order it. And so a win for me is that I've made a decision that when I want to try something, I'm just gonna, because I make the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in a good place. It's not like I'm rich or anything, but I'm in a good place. And so being able to recognize that I'm a hoarder of money and that can get toxic, it is a win for me to say, you know what? I have it. I'm just gonna buy this. So I bought these 4 little scents right here, these little scent birds. Now, let me tell you something. This original scent, you can throw that.
I'm glad we know now.
Like, don't do this one.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening with that. But so I had the date with 38. And so this one right here, this one is called Pink Passion, honey. Where is my camera? Pink Passion.
You got it.
Okay. This baby, let me tell you something. I felt like I was in one of those ads. Because you most of the time the dude can't keep his hands off of it, the woman, because she smells so good. And so, I have, my head is shaved, so everywhere that your nose is gonna be, I'm putting smell good. And when I tell you, sitting on this couch, this man jumped in. He was like, "Why do you smell good everywhere? What is this?" And he was literally just sniffing me. So I was like, okay. So I got the other 3. Said, yeah, that original, you keep that somewhere. I don't know who that worked on, but it did not do it for me. So that was a win because it was something that I got that I thought, I was like, I'm going to take a chance on this. And yeah, it worked out. So that was a win-win for me. So Nerd Nation, go ahead and put your win-win down in the comment section. And in the meantime, in between time, here is 3 actionable steps, darling, that you can take so that you can be on an ongoing self-love journey. So the first thing, monthly check-ins. Like, just set aside some time once a month to reflect on your self-love journey. Because after 30 days, if you're really committed to this, like, whether you've been screwing up or whether you've been on point, you're going to be able to see it. You're going to be able to see your own pattern. What progress have you made? Have you made any progress? What lessons have you learned? Okay.
That time when you sit and read your journal.
Read your journal. I read my journals all the time.
Read your journal.
I read my journals all the time because you have to reflect. You're going to celebrate the wins. We just talked about reward yourself. This was my reward. These cents was my reward, for myself. But I want you to reward yourself for reaching your milestones, no matter how small. I don't care if you eat 10 Big Macs in a week and you have a goal to only eat 9. If you reach that goal, now, bitch, don't celebrate with another Big Mac, okay? That defeats the purpose. But
let's leave the Big Macs alone.
But I want you to celebrate the win. I really do. And then the last thing, stay curious. I want you to stay curious. Approach self-love with a learner's mindset. What can I learn about myself today? That's how I want you to approach the journey. Be open to trying new strategies, exploring new ideas, continuously evolving in how you care for yourself. Me and Toya talked about the movies. Movies are a form of self-care for me too. And so I'm getting more back, going out to the movies. See, COVID had us all.
That doesn't mean sit on your couch and binge watch a bunch of movies.
Right. Because I'll do it. Because I'll do that. So, getting up, get dressed, care about your appearance because you're about to walk outside the house. Go to see a movie. We have to, the things that we can do to get us back to, I don't even want to say back to normal, but our new normal, whatever that's going to be, we need to start doing it. And it includes getting out of the house. Now, this is what I want to say to you guys in closing. Now, by creating a personal self-love action plan, weaving the AFTA principles into your daily life, and embracing the journey as an ongoing process, you set yourself up for long-term growth, healing, and fulfillment. Self-love isn't about perfection. Jesus, we talked about that until it's blue in the face. But it's about showing up for yourself every day, treating yourself with compassion, and allowing room for growth and change. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this episode. Remember, you can watch the full episode right here on YouTube, or you're going to be able to listen to it on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify. I can't wait to add some more shit to that. But if you, for real, because it feels good. It feels good. But if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment, because your support is going to help us reach more people who can benefit from these messages. So until next time, I want you guys to keep on showing up for yourself, keep believing in your work, and keep embracing the AFTA principles in everything that you do, because you're worthy of love, joy, and peace, just as you are.